Hey,
Might
GM,
as well.
GM guy, GM guy. Hey, GM guy. Are we good?
Hey, we're good, baby.
He's
Let's
like,
get
why are
it.
you doing it? Hey, what is good, you all? This is another episode of Windy City Breeze. You got the crew in here. It's your boy P Kid, my man JC.
Yes,
As I
sir.
caught him drinking right there. Let's pause. We got my man, the
hit the horn
GM, the
already.
super producer Joe Holt.
Already.
Hey, we got Bobby V over there. See, Dub. Look at
Bobby V. Yes,
Hey,
sir.
and
Yes,
the
sir.
man, myth, the legend himself.
Oh, got glasses on.
over there, baby. What's happening with you all, man? Listen, I appreciate everybody who's been tuning in, rocking with us. And before we get started, I want to make sure we get this one thing going. This is a finely tuned intro that our GM did.
No,
I want to make sure he's. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Hey, listen.
Let me do your job. Break down the topics that we're going to talk about today. Everybody, thank you for coming
I
and
got
joining.
ADHD. It don't work that way.
Yeah, no, this is what we're going to do. We're going to talk about what again?
We're going to talk about this Tyson Bagent, that Tyson Bagent quarter controversy over. I got the title all wrong.
It's all good.
No,
you in the ballpark.
I'm in the ballpark?
Yeah.
I'm fine.
You're there. You're there.
It's the wrong lane. Which one? Are we
Bears
talking
Saints.
about?
So you got it.
Bears Saints recap, and then what else?
Montez Sweat.
Montez Sweat. Okay,
And then we're going to talk about the future. Where's Ryan Poles go from here, right?
There you go.
Yep.
See, that's why you do what you do, baby. From now on, that's how you GM. All right.
And
Now
then we're going to
let's
get to the intro.
I'm already seeing something. I'm sorry. I'm already seeing some Steve-O a fool.
Yeah.
My man getting on my man. Come on, don't hate on the shades, man.
Oh man.
If it ain't love, why do I feel this way?
Steve will get off my man C Dub.
Oh man, we already starting off.
Sorry, you're not my kind of girl.
Tell me, can you stand the rain?
Oh,
Hey man, come on, man. Hey, we
Hey, what is good, you all, man? Listen.
Keep the day job, baby.
Listen. We are definitely back in the building, man. This is the first day off of a wild game, and some people are going to sit there and love and hate it. But at the end of the day, we got to talk about it. Bears versus Saints. I think it was the tale of two different halves, tale of two different teams.
Facts.
And let's just break into it, man. Let's just go ahead and do it, man. It's Bears versus Saints. What did you get from that? I'm gonna start to my right, my man JC. What did you see?
Hey, like you said, tale of two halves. If we're going to pinpoint Bagent, I was impressed. That first drive almost seemed perfect, as if, obviously they probably scripted that first half. But I thought it was amazing the way he was poised in the pocket. Again, we talked about the defense and the type of defense that this Saints team has, from the defensive line to the cornerbacks. You got Lattimore, you got the linebackers that are very good in Demario Davis. Those boys, they come at you. And they continue to come at you. Like Cameron Jordan doesn't. He is an endless motor. And so what I saw in that first drive kind of impressed me to the point where I was like, oh, we might be able to keep up with these boys even if we're behind. And he got it to Komet. That was an amazing throw off of his back foot to Komet. Komet made the catch against Matthew. And then again, I think the adjustments, which is what a great team does coming out of the half. You make adjustments to try and take away the strengths of your quarterback or the strengths of the team, what they show in the first half. And so I got to say, I'll give it a C because the first half was good. Second half was poor.
I agree. Let's go over to my man Stefan Ladon. What did you see over there, my man?
Hey man, really pretty much. I mean, Jay Clem just said basically a tale of two halves. I will say after rewatching the game yesterday, it does seem like I would rather have Tyson Bagent. I'd rather have Tyson Bagent as the backup, but it definitely seems like a tale of two halves because they were moving the ball, and I mean, yet again, it's like the same thing literally with the Bulls. When you have something that's working, you fail to continue to go to it. And Deontay Foreman didn't touch the ball, which I kind of I kind of disagree with. And again, you're getting into these long downs and these long situations because you keep running these screens and they're not getting to where they need to get to, which is why then you put Tyson Bagent in those long situations where okay, now I have to feel like I have to try to overcompensate for some of the things we lacking. So I mean, the Taylor two had I didn't think he played a bad game, but it is what it is.
Agreed. My man, super producer Joe Hope.
I was encouraged. I thought that
That does not sound
That's such a politically
enthusiastic
correct-
at all.
I was
encouraged.
well, they
Encouraged.
lost.
Eli.
But, I mean, the first half they looked okay. I mean, but you still have a rookie quarterback out there. He still showed the limitations that I think he has as a player. And then it's like there was a couple boneheaded calls. Like, why are we doing that end around, pass? Like, you're going to sacrifice the quarterback to take on a defensive end to block for Tyler Scott.
Oh, that was horrible.
I'm like, you're going to get that guy
Jesus.
killed. So even if Fields was there, that's a bad call.
Yeah.
The defense, I think, held for as long as they could. But again, we've seen this before with them where they can be really pedestrian. First they came out aggressive. And then in the second half, it was just playing not to lose. But then you can't also overcome, 4 turnovers, 3 interceptions, DJ Moore to fumble. So it was technically it wasn't embarrassing to watch this game because you actually had hope. I was like, they might actually pull this off. So we forgot to do the recap video because we got some stats and numbers to go over. So let's go ahead and just jump to that.
Let's get it.
Just kidding. As I let me make that fit to the screen.
This is my man right
There we go. All right,
Mike Laurie right there.
All right. Do I have audio for that? I don't remember. But anyways, here we go. So I felt that the 3 key players so far was Komet, Bagent, and TJ Edwards really stood out.
Absolutely.
And then when you look at the numbers, I mean, like I said, Taylor 2 halves, right? So we had more. What was it? The final score was 24-17. We actually had more yards. We had more rushing yards. We actually had a little bit more in time possession, but we had a lot of penalties, and they scored more. And our guy missed the field goal, which he hadn't missed all year. He was almost perfect.
Mm-hmm.
The defensive side, we had more tackles because tackles for loss. Again, 0 sacks, had no interceptions, no fumbles. We had 2 quarterback hits, and we saw one from Montez Sweat and a couple pass deflections.
Sad note, I'm not gonna lie, Joe. That kick when it hit the bar, that gave me PTSD back to the double doink days.
Right.
I was like, oh, not again, please no.
Exactly. Bagent, he did okay. I mean, 220 passing yards, 70 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. You had Cole Kmet with 6 receptions. He had a nice that catch he had in the end zone was I thought
No,
I
was
actually
nice.
thought that Honey Badger had
But
got it and he took it before
Yeah.
the angle was like he just plucked it
No,
right
he
out there.
just-
Great catch
glory.
from Cole Kmet. He's really been impressive in terms of I just feel like if he actually gets used properly, I won't call him Stone Hands no more. I'm done. I've retired Stone Hands Kmet. I've retired it. Dante Foreman at 20 carries, 83 yards. He passes the eye test for me.
Yeah,
He does.
As a running back, Darnell
Yes.
Mooney actually had a decent game. Five receptions, 82 yards.
I know, right?
And then TJ Edwards, 15 tackles.
Gotta
One
love
tackle
it.
for loss, 1 quarterback hit. So I mean, him and Jack Sanborn look good. 10 tackles, 1 tackle for loss. He looked pretty good
He looked real
playing,
good.
and I don't know if he's in his right position. You know what I'm saying?
That's something we gotta talk about.
So with that being said,
I'm gonna get you back in there.
I have the standings. So when you look at the standings, again, Lions are at top 6-2. The Vikings 5-4. They're trending up. The Packers 3-5, going down. They actually won, but they're still not that great. And then of course we're at the bottom 2-7. So that would be the recap I have for just how we're looking as suffering Bears fans watching this last weekend.
You know,
Go
the
ahead.
interesting thing interesting thing about that entire game is I felt encouraged too from the aspect of how our rookie played. And a lot of people are going to sit there, and I already see it in the chat. Oh, he played okay with 3 INTs. Yeah, he did.
3 INTs.
He did play okay with 3 INTs. You want to know why? Because he had just as many yards as Drew Brees. I mean, not Drew Brees, but Derek Carr.
Yeah.
And on top of that, you saw him actually have poise within that game. Now, did things go left? Absolutely. But I'm still talking about a rookie in his 3rd game who didn't get as many reps with the starters as our starter did. So I'm actually thinking he's overperforming for his position.
We can also argue that some of those passes, well, at least I'll say one of the interceptions wasn't on him because, we've had an issue with the Bears finishing routes or at least giving their all 100% on their route running. Mm-hmm. And so you've seen Cole Kmet do that at the end of the game when Justin gave it to him. He just got knocked off his route and intercepted. You've seen it. And so I'm not going to give Tyson a pass on every single one of them, but I'm also not going to, just completely blame him for all of that. I ain't gonna lie to you. I know we were talking about predictions before the game about what he would get as far as yards and passing touchdowns.
Yeah, who's the closest?
I ain't gonna lie. I thought I was gonna hit it.
The closest?
No, I think
I said
you said 2 interceptions, right?
Joe, you said a touchdown. You said a touchdown and 2 picks.
I said like 244, 3 and 1.
No,
and
you said
I said 250. I said 250, 2 touchdowns, a rushing touchdown, and 1 INT.
He got real specific.
No, he thought this was going to the Pro Bowl. I was like,
do it, bro.
I said 1 touchdown, 2.
He was on his way the way he looked at the first half.
Yards? I gotta pull it up in the text.
Hey, he was on his way.
He was on his way in the first half. I was like, this man gonna get 4 touchdowns today?
Hey, you know what?
He was on his way.
Let's be for real. He was in a situation where, and this is what I mean by tale of 2 halves. First half, he actually used his legs a lot more than people thought. He had 80 rushing yards.
70, but yes.
70,
yeah.
80.
Yep.
Yeah.
Way more, right? Then they started to play him like they would Justin, put a spy on him. They kept everything in front of him.
Right.
And then I also think Luke Getsy wanted him to pass from the pocket. For some odd reason, I just feel that Ole Cruz kind of talked about that, about how they made some adjustments, and then the plays that were called seemed like they were forcing him to pass more than anything else. Whereas that's a tough situation for any QB in their third game to beat that defense with your arm.
They're not that great of a defense, though. This is still a situation of just he's not a great quarterback. And I think everybody wanted him to be the next. This isn't Kurt Warner. Like, you want to see, but you want to see there's a spark. Even Brock Purdy, there's a spark of something. He is.
I still think
Kyle
that's the
Orton.
team. I still think that's the team, bro.
It's a good but there's the whole point of what we all want is someone that can overcome the adversity. There's someone that can outplay or just overcome some of the things that even the coaches, will put in place. Mm-hmm. Do you have something that says I can do this? The whole point, everybody's like, we didn't know Justin Fields could run, because he's like, I'm tired of y'all killing me. Yeah. So I'm just going to take off. Wow. Nobody knew he could do that in college. Right? Because he didn't. He passed a lot. And the whole point is that, does he have the ability?
Well, according to PK, he rushed more than he passed.
Oh, right.
Oh, he rushed.
You're right.
PK rushed. In all his highlights, he was a rusher.
Research.
Anybody on this chat right now, you pull up that man's highlights, it's 30 minutes long.
I see you.
Half of them is rushing. That's all I'm saying. I thought I was looking at my running back. I thought I was looking at B. John Robinson for a second. That's all I'm saying.
If we know one thing.
Hey, now why you got to throw shots at Joe like that?
Absolutely. It's gonna be biased as heck, but it's research.
Hey. Shout out to V-Dog for a minute in the chat. Actually, this is a question posed to you, PK. He wanted to ask you, do you think that Luke Getsy is more comfortable coaching up and play calling for Tyson Bagent versus Justin?
Yes.
Yeah, that's an obvious yes to me, but I guess why?
I'm gonna be honest with you, because Bagent is one thing that Bagent does still do that is still like something you wanted to see a lot more from Fields. And that's really how he scans the field, how he processes it. I'm not saying that he executes the plays every time,
right?
But that's still something as a third-year QB that we're still wanting from Justin, and we're finally getting. And I think it's just a very unfair thing for people to sit there and say, "Well, I told you he's not going to be it." It's like no one's saying that he's going to be it, but we're talking about game 3 versus year 3. It still shouldn't even be a conversation. Yeah. Like the fact that we're still having the conversation, we're overlooking the fact that it shouldn't be. I shouldn't be saying that this D2 QB processes things faster than my pro D1 QB.
Okay.
I should not be saying that.
But look,
I'm not going to say it's better. It's different.
The thing is that everyone has abilities and limitations.
Yeah.
Bagent is limited in these things, but he's good over here. And the issue that we have with Fields is if he could just process faster for what they want, and maybe eventually does come to him, we don't know. But he definitely has the accuracy. He's got the arm. Bagent doesn't have the arm to do that. Found it. So Kid said 275, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and 1 rushing touchdown is what he said. Jordan said,
what did he say? What did he say?
You said 275, 2 touchdowns, 1-0, 1 rushing touchdown.
I was close.
No. And then Sort of. I don't know.
What's that Shannon Sharp mean?
So right, it's right. Hey, Calvin said nope. Jordan said 244, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. And I said 201, 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions. So I think I was the closest.
I give it to you. Yeah, I give it to you.
He had more interceptions than touchdowns. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Jordan gave him 3 touchdowns.
He was on his way. I was like, man.
We go by total
You went
yards.
way over. I was 201. You
If we go by total yards, I'm the closest.
No, he
Bro, can't be trying to play.
he's all like, yeah.
I think we all win because Joe had the interceptions. I had the closest touchdowns, I guess, and you had the closest total.
The moment he
yards.
threw that second pick, I was like, well, there goes that.
Yeah.
You know what? And here's the thing. This is how I look at it, man. I think the problem with Chicago in general is that we just have the wrong expectations for Beja coming into all this. He's a D2 undrafted quarterback. How many of those actually become a starter in the NFL? Hardly any.
Well, Joe just mentioned one. It's probably 1-1.
No. The problem is that it's just no exact science.
There's no
exact science.
It's the right coaching, the right scheme with the right player.
Everything has to be perfect for him to work out.
I don't think so.
It's the right. The whole thing is like this, right? The Patrick Mahomes discussion.
Yeah.
If he doesn't go to Andy Reid, I don't think he becomes this guy that he ends up becoming, right? The right system with the right team. Kurt Warner, literally, they say he's bagging groceries in the grocery store. But after so many stops and finally, like the right offense hit him, and he was a little older, he did it. Like it's the right system for every player that comes in there. So we think that Fields can be successul if they put the right system around him.
The thing, and this is what's so frustrating to me, bro. And I'm not trying to come off like I'm just pro Fields, right? I know I sometimes sound like it because
he a different dude with the glasses on. I like.
Yeah, I was about to say this. The swag is on 2,000. Like, hey,
Here we go.
Hey, listen. Swag aside,
Tell you what,
I'm just saying.
we'll go ahead and slide into the Bagent and Fields talk since we're already talking anyways. Then we'll come back to Sweat.
Let's make sure. I want to make sure Steph gets it. I didn't hear if you had anything to speak on that.
I'm not. Yeah, I was. Well, I'm gonna save it for the because we jumping into the controversy thing, right?
Yeah.
We jumping into that. Basically, yeah, I was just gonna say like. I don't think there was a debate to begin with. I just felt like, Muggs were looking at, okay, Justin's struggling. We need some hope, basically. And after that first game, Bagent looked like, he showed a little glimpse of that, but it never fully came to fruition. Now, with that being said, I think like Jake. Well, no, somebody in the comments said it. I guess some of them were looking for Bagent to be Purdy, but again, it's like I've been saying all season. Freaking Getty is not on the level of a Kyle Shanahan at all.
Yep.
In no form or fashion. Like I can give you about probably six OCs that's better than him. So the party conversation was never gonna happen. But I just felt like it was never a debate in terms of like what he be the starter. I think it's just like we talked about yesterday. When me, you, and Pat were chopping it up, he's gonna be a Snoop Huntley. He'll be able to run the offense, but as far as that's it.
The funny thing about that whole thing, though, and I appreciate that stuff, is I think everyone's selling him a little too short because look at who you all are comparing Bagent to. Now, this is I want you all to realize that you got to separate Fields from Bagent. Like, let's not do that part.
But they can't right now.
Labeling him as a designated backup, and it's like, yo, as a designated backup, I've seen him do a lot of things that some starters struggle with.
We got 100
in the third game QB.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, like I'm gonna be honest with you. If we give our starters the leeway to make mistakes, this kid has shown enough that, hey, D2 or not, he has the ability and potential to actually be better than what you all are giving him the moniker.
Look. We need to the whole point is the debate's over. They already said if Fields is ready, he's coming back. it's over.
Nah, but
Okay,
I'm-
Fields will be the
Over.
starter until the,
Over.
you know what I'm
Both
saying.
guys
So the
are
whole
good
point is that
guys.
Now, here's
this
the
is
thing.
going to bed. He's
I'm
a good. The whole point is, I like who was it? Pat or someone said in our group that this is the equivalent of Lamar Jackson with Huntley. When Lamar's done,
I said that though because
okay, there you go. This
no,
is what
because
we had.
when I was even when I was saying that though, like I never said I never said I never said Snoop Huntley wasn't good. I just said that he's capable enough to run this system, and he's okay.
Yes,
But I also said that I'm like, when you look at it, Lamar's averaging 25 points a game when he's in the lineup. Snoop Huntley was averaging 11.
right.
Like
what we have.
he was running the system, but it wouldn't be the same as Lamar because nobody's gonna run it like Lamar.
Correct. The whole point is that the debate's over.
Yeah.
Speaking
No,
of
no.
debate, I just want to
Is
clear
it-
this
is
up
it-
real
is
quick.
it
Yeah, because
only-
they're saying when Fields is ready, because Eberflus just spoke about that.
Let me clear this up real quick because we're talking about Bajan and Justin Fields and them two alone. Everybody in the chat is arguing over we should have got CJ Stroud.
No.
First of all, CJ Stroud was not on our radar. You know why? Because Justin Fields was coming off of a year where he was over 1,000 rushing yards, and everybody in the media and all the pundits said he would take the next step
Wait. Say that last part again. He was over 1,000 for what yards?
rushing.
Okay, that sounds good for a QB.
I swear to God, you.
Hey,
My
listen,
point is,
hey,
my
hey,
point is, they
when
thought
did-
that he was
when
going
did
to
I
take
go-
the next step.
Hey, when did I draft a running back? Thank you. 1,000 rushing yards. All right, sounds good.
You can have that, but here's what
Okay.
I'm saying
Hey,
is,
you know how many
they
guys
said that
don't
he
let
was going to
1,000
build
rushing
off
yards
that.
were good?
Hey, let me get my point
You're
out.
right, my bad,
They
dude.
said he was going to build off that, and everybody keeps talking about, man, look at how CJ Stroud is playing. Even with that type of team behind him, they don't even have a whole bunch of stars on that team. Great. We weren't looking for CJ Stroud. We were looking for defensive end line help in Carter or Will Anderson Jr., or we were looking for who we got in Darnell Wright, offensive line help. We weren't looking the quarterback way because we thought we had that figured out because everybody was saying he could potentially be in the MVP whispers. That didn't happen, and so we just got to move forward. Stop talking about CJ Stroud.
You are right, but I would say this: Post took a risk, and he actually hedged his bet. He hedged his bet. That's why we have the trade that went down, and we have that first round pick for next year. Because if it don't work out, I need to have a failsafe. When I said that, everyone thought I was capping. They thought I was hating on Fields. I'm like, no. Pose is doing a great job of being a GM because if this don't work out and CJ Stroud goes out to look like CJ Stroud looks, you're going to sit there and have to deal with the fact that people are going to call him the new Ryan Pace because CJ Stroud just threw 475 yards in a game.
I started him on my fantasy team.
475 yards, five touchdowns, no picks.
You know what I'm saying? So like realistically,
So
Pose was not all in. He
I
hedged
wish-
his bet. He's like, I'm gonna give Justin a shot since it's not fair. But at the same time, I got my escape route, and that's exactly
the other
what he
thing
has.
is that at that point, the consensus was that this was not a strong quarterback class. Period. So
Really?
yeah, they were like, and the whole point was Poles was like, unless we were blown away, and they were dogging.
Oh, you talking about the CJ
They were dogging
Stroud.
CJ Stroud. Everybody felt like Bryce Young was the consensus, but other than that, I think Poles he's played it very well. And if the thing is, we don't know what Poles is going to do because we still have 2 more years with Fields.
And the
We
thing,
don't have to do anything with him.
No.
Yeah.
No, you don't have to. He's under contract on his rookie contract. So even if we do the Alex Smith route, right? We keep him for a year. I'm just saying he has options. He can either move him and flip him because now this is a great quarterback class. This
Oh,
could
it
be
is,
the
yeah.
old, this could be like 03 class with like Rivers, Roethlisberger, and Eli Manning.
Agreed.
and the thing about it is,
Drake May,
4 or 5 good
Drake May,
quarterbacks.
Caleb,
Drake May, Caleb Williams. You
Penix.
got
Shedeur Sanders.
No,
Shedeur
Shedur's
ain't
not
coming
coming
out.
out.
no, Shedeur.
Oh, he's not.
Shedeur
Oh,
coming
okay.
out.
Caleb
my bad.
Williams, Penix, Drake May.
Those are the 3.
Penix is not going first round.
Bo Nix.
Bo Nix,
Uh,
Oregon.
But
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you all.
It's 3. It's 3. Penix is I'm real quick. I need everybody to chill on Penix. That's 2. I'm telling you right now. That's 2 knee surgeries. I get it. It's college. He looks very great. That is 2 knee surgeries on the same knee. They're not touching that.
Well,
I mean,
If that was the case,
Yeah.
if that was the case, I could make the same case for Hendon Hooker from last year, because Tennessee was balling.
I don't think
Now,
reminds me of Tua, and
now
Tua
the
injury, but look at him now.
the other point, wait, what'd you say?
I said Penix reminds me of Tua.
I mean,
and you look at Tua's
yeah, but
look at him now.
they're not going. But it's an injury concern there, is it not?
Yeah, you're right.
Even with I'm just saying we need to. I mean, I get it, and I get that he just beat Caleb, but like we need to like
convince him.
Really like assess what we looking at. I'm telling you, that's 2 knee surgeries, same knee. I mean, I get that he just beat Caleb, but we gotta really, if he gets to the right system, maybe, but he definitely not going first round. Now, the other thing that I was gonna say, that I feel like everybody,
you can't know this guy has been lights out in terms of he's been beating the best competition. They beat USC like when it mattered. He's winning games.
True.
So the whole point is that as long as he can run and he's healed, him having knee surgeries, I mean, all guys that come to league for the most part have had some form of surgeries or injuries. So if he can process, because isn't he a little bit older?
Nah, he's about to be. I think he'll be. Either 25 or 26.
Exactly. So the whole point is that, you know, if anything, he's got a little more experience.
There you go.
The whole point is that the Bears, if it's what we think it is, if they don't want a quarterback that's running first, they want you to be able to move the pocket. What we want is an Aaron Rodgers type or Pat Mahomes type of guy, right? He can scramble and extend plays with his legs, but he's not running first because you don't want to, open up for you expose yourself for injury. And they don't want to tie their money. Now all these guys are getting guaranteed money, and if he gets a knee blown out because he's running too much, they don't want to do that. That's what I think is happening.
Yeah. Let's frame this a different way, because the question is still about, is the controversy over? And it's not. It's just not with Bajan and Fields. The controversy is still, do you draft a QB? And that question is realistically, yes.
Well, we'll get to that later. And we can have another topic to talk about that one. The whole point is that Fields is going to be starting.
He'll probably be starting Thursday.
Now, here's the thing: he's doubtful or questionable for Thursday.
Right.
And I've made this statement. Sylvian Waddle kind of talked about it. I don't start him against the Panthers.
You don't,
Justin? No.
If he's good to go?
No, you give him that extra week.
Now, I said that, everybody crucified me for it because they said, well, you should probably start him against a weaker team to get him prepared for Detroit.
I kind of talked about this with Calvin earlier, but no, I say no simply because you run the risk of two things. One, it's questionable whether or not he has the grip. He goes out there and looks like a bum against Bryce Young.
He's put his hand in. He's supposedly in a few times. He's wearing a glove right now,
and he's uncomfortable with it. They say it's not. It's not. No, he goes out there. He doesn't look good. That hate is going to be so loud. He has nothing to prove if there's no controversy between him and Bajan. Let him heal up. Let him go out there. But then now he has to face Detroit.
Yeah.
But us taking the L against Detroit, better defense, better QB.
And it's like an extra bye week because you got the 3 extra days.
All of that stuff, like it doesn't. I don't know anyone within their right mind would sit there if he struggles in that game, be like, oh, he sucks. No, but if he goes out there and does it against the Panthers, who are a horrible team, you're going to be calling for Bajan to be the starter. That's just how the city is. Am I wrong? Like, don't y'all see that?
Yeah.
The city is definitely fickle. The city is definitely fickle, and that's another problem is, okay, let's just say, all right, we talked about should they draft a quarterback, right? Let's just say the Bears decide to actually, let's say Gessie puts an offense centered around what Fields' strength is. And we know that's mainly getting out of the pocket, making plays with both his arm and his leg. And let's just say this Lamar Jackson kind of phenomenon starts to happen. Do you still see yourself drafting the quarterback knowing that you got a guy who, in my opinion, I think he's a better QB in terms of throwing the ball than Lamar Jackson, but also can run like Lamar Jackson? Do you see yourself still drafting a quarterback, still drafting an unknown, entity, as opposed to keeping something that you see can work if you're not trying to put him in this pocket? Because that's what I saw yesterday. What I saw yesterday was, like we mentioned earlier, a tale of two halves. The first half was tailored towards, all right, let's get the pocket moving. And then when you saw the pocket moving, you starting to see him making throws and making connections, quick outs, boom, boom, boom. Then when the defense adjusted, Getsy didn't adjust. And when Getsy didn't adjust, he made him stay in the pocket. And when he stayed in the pocket, guess what happened? And he held on to the ball too long, too, at times. Nobody really wanted to talk about that. You know, obviously, whenever Justin holds on to the ball, everybody has a conniption about it. But he held on to the ball too long, you know, and when he did that, he made turnovers. So,
well, it's also knowing what's happening on the field. Olin Cruz actually talked about that. And because I had the same thought process. And really, it was the plays that Getsy called and what they wanted him to do. They wanted him to kind of beat them with his arm, and New Orleans forced him to. And so he was waiting for certain plays to develop. And I really want to get to this all 22 because I got to see it. But Olin kind of doubled down on it. He said he didn't do him any favors by calling that particular play and forcing him to play that particular way as opposed to how he played in the first half. And I mean, I take what Olin says with a grain of salt, but he is a former player and he kind of reads the field better than I think anyone in this room does. So I take it from that. I do got to say this. I don't think you should ever say that Justin Fields is a better Lamar Jackson.
No. That's not what he said. He said throwing the football.
The whole point is that because the chat started to go crazy.
They started cooking my man right now.
I know.
Hey, bro. I was trying to come to my man.
They said better than Lamar Jackson. You tripping?
The whole point about Lamar Jackson is that they built the scheme around him. When he got there, he was running the offense that Joe Flacco tried to run. They bring in an offensive scheme that works for his skill set. He does have limitations, but they said, you know what, we're going to ride with this guy and we're going to put this system around him. That's all we want with Fields, right? He may have some limitations, but we've seen that he has the ability to do a lot of things. But this scheme, look at the scheme that we have. We have the 49ers and the Packers type of offensive scheme. So what type of quarterback player do you see out of that? We've seen Aaron Rodgers win an MVP in that scheme. We've seen Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, run this type of scheme. But what are some of the comparisons? Great offensive line. The 49ers have a real good offensive line.
Yeah.
Packers have an okay line, but they're aging. Packers have 2 running backs that can catch the ball. 49ers got CMC over there.
Yeah. Right?
Catching, receiving. Tight end play from Kittles.
Yeah,
they got an actual fullback.
They had Devontae Adams. They had a true stud number 1 receiver. What do we have? We finally got a receiver. We kind of have a tight end. We have a tight end. I'm not going to just commit.
Commet's pretty good.
Our offensive line is very shaky, and none of our running backs have the combination that we need them to do. We got one running back that can run fast.
Yeah,
can't block. We got one running back that can block, but I'm kind of down on Roshan. And then we got another running back.
But you know,
and Dante is a bowling ball of running back, but he's not catching. So we're still ways away from getting this team right.
Well, and so this is the other point I want to bring out too, is that what happens when you actually surround Justin with actual talent? You know what Justin hasn't seen this season? An actual running back. The last game Justin played.
I love Broski Bear.
the last game Justin played when he got hurt. Did you know before the game he actually was tied for leading the league in touchdowns? He was tied for leading the league in touchdowns before the game he got hurt. And then the game that he got hurt, 3 running backs went down? And then, by the way, he had a center throwing the ball over his head, so Justin has to jump up and catch that ball before he even gets set. So by the time the ball is hiked and it's in his hand, somebody's already in his face. Now, again, I'm not trying to be an apologist for him. What I'm saying is that you surround a quarterback with the necessary tools. Then you can evaluate what you really have. But I think we're too quick to jump the gun and say, all right, who's the next best college quarterback that we can snap?
I'm going to be honest with you.
We got to move on. We're going to move on because we're starting to get short with time, right? So let's go to our next one. So the whole point is, do we agree that you think that the controversy is over? Controversy is over?
I think it's just not with Bajan. I think we're now moving on to who do we draft?
Bajan's quarterback.
Yes, it's over.
So it's over.
Bajan's quarterback too. JF1 quarterback 1.
It's over.
It's over, man.
It's over for me. Oh, I never.
It's over.
Like what? Ringo.
It's over.
Okay, there we go.
It was never a debate.
You got it. So next is we had our man Montez over here. I think we got a corner piece on our defensive line, right? Montez Sweat signed 4 years, 98 million, 12 was a 72 million guaranteed. He was out there. He did have a key
Yep.
pressure. He hit
He knocked the
Carr,
ball away.
got the defense off the field.
Yeah.
What's your take on Montez?
His impact is crazy because the defense looked better. The pressure was there. We had more. He was more of a presence and a focal point. They knew he was there, and they actually schemed for him. You could actually see it. So now that you have someone that's on their offensive line's mind and that coordinator's mind, you can see just how much we look. And then look at the second half. Our offense didn't show up, but our defense showed up for sure. Like I can't necessarily say it's all Montez Sweat, but I think he just made everyone's life easier, and just his presence there changed the scope of that game.
Sweat is like somebody just said, V-Dog again, good call out. Sweat is a huge pickup. But what I need to see more of is outside of pressures. I need to see you actually get to the quarterback. And I'm not just talking about Montez. If you're going to double Montez, then I need Yannick Ngakoue to do what he needs to do. Because all along we've been talking about, well, maybe Yannick just needs somebody on the other end to take the pressure off him. If Montez is getting double teamed, that means you're one-on-one with your guy. And you can use that classic chop cross or whatever move that you usually perfected and get to the quarterback. We don't see that enough. So the pressures are fine, but I also need to see some sacks kind of sprinkled in too. There still was 0 sacks on the game. So as much as you get pressure on the quarterback, somebody as seasoned and as veteran of a quarterback as Carr can still slice you up because he's got Rashid, he's got Olave, he's got Kamara to throw to, he's got Michael Thomas who used to be a beast. Like he's got all type of options. He's not afraid of pressure. You need to get to the quarterback eventually.
Yeah, we're still that's the issue with this Tampa 2. You need that specialized 3 technique. You need all these other factors. We still don't have our safety. I mean, Brisker was out. I like Brisker, and I think we have a safety. So, but he wasn't there. Like you need all the pieces for this defense to work, and that's the only problem I have with this type of defense. Like, if we were to just go back to a standard 4-3, we get 2 big jumbos in the middle that can, they can take on at least 2 or 3 linemen that cause a problem. Now you let the linebackers roam, and you can blitz more. With this type of defense, it's all about coverage. It's all about hitting these spaces. It has to be perfect. Like I still remember how the Bears blew it in the Super Bowl because I think it was Daniel Manning. He releases the one guy and the Colts receiver gets behind him. But it's like, if you don't have it right, it can look really bad. But like it's one of those bend don't break defenses, and it's like we kind of want to see an attacking style defense. What we have is this pressure. We only need 4 guys to go ahead and sack the quarterback, and what we got is like we might have 1 of the 4 that we need. But I like it. I like that we made a move. I don't think that you're going to find a Montez Sweat type of guy in the second round of a draft. I want to shout out King Ryan Poles for when you think about it, Will Anderson, they were all about Will Anderson, Jalen Carter.
Yeah, they were.
And
rightfully so,
he made a move. Say what?
Rightfully so, though.
Right, but the thing was like about the right fit. If you looked at Will Anderson's numbers, he's not making an impact at all. I don't think he's not even like Aiden Hutchinson. Like shout out for not taking that player, but
real talk.
I'm just glad that he's being able to, assess talent and to get a day 1 starter down there, right? Against what everybody else was thinking, I can really appreciate that.
Well, so my pushback on that is it was kind of what I was saying about Jalen. If the Bears drafted him, right, like you're coming from Bama, that means that there are other good players on that line also, and like he's the only guy on that line right now. I think once you get him. So I think once you get him some guys to go opposite him, like we kind of starting to see that with Detroit. Now these guys are making some noise as far as yesterday and everything like that. I mean, I expected it to go the way it went for Montez. I think at the end of the day, I think Poles is gonna finish building out this defense. I think you're gonna have Sweat. You're gonna have Yannick, and listen, if they continue to play the way that the defense has been playing, and you do keep Flus, now you add that other defensive tackle in the middle or that extra edge rusher. These guys are gonna be fine. Like I need people to understand, like, while there's questions on the offensive side of the ball, and rightfully so. I don't think people really understand what's happening with the defense. Like Jack Sanborn filled in for Terrell Evans and got 10 tackles.
2 tackles, yeah.
Like the Bears got some good problems going on defense as well. So let's not get it lost that they're still building and this defense is like steadily improving.
That's a fact.
That game against New Orleans actually shows that the defense did exactly what the defense was supposed to do. They gave us opportunity to get back.
That they did
on multiple occasions.
Yep.
Which is all you asked them to do.
That's what you want them to do. And so I love what I saw. I love for his first game. I like the pressure. I like what ultimately Flus was able to do with that particular defense. I think the one thing about it, the sad thing about it is I think we're all of the ilk that maybe we should get Flus up out of here. But the better this defense plays, the better he goes with constructing it.
They're not going nowhere.
He's not going nowhere.
None of these guys are going nowhere.
Not even
Getsy's going somewhere.
Getsy's the dude.
As long as Flus keeps,
I'd like to see a change. He's not going nowhere.
I think since Eberflus took over, the defense has been solid. It's just Getsy's scheme is trash.
Kyle, I think they had Darnell Wright number 2 under Broderick Jones, if I'm correct. Another tackle.
Broderick, yeah.
You're talking about as far as PFF grades?
He was saying top rookie offensive tackle. I think Broderick Jones, if I'm sure. But
Broderick
he's up there.
Like
he grades very high. Like
he's killing.
So I think
that was the right pick.
Year 2 of a rebuild, and the problem is we're still let them. Hey, like my man, like Ringo said, let them cook.
Now, do you let me ask you?
Give us some time.
This is actually for you and Calvin, because I mean, comparatively, I think you all have watched more Bears games and been a part of this than I have. I've not been that committed to it that long. But do you think the hate that he's getting right now realistically is because no one's ever really seen us rebuild this way? Because like normally when teams rebuild, they go through the lull of just sucking for like 2-3 years. Like you're not going to do anything. Realistically, this is our second year of being in that space with Poles at the helm. Like we are where we should be. We have a promising team. The record may not show it, but we've got all the pieces there. Do you think that's just ultimately what it is, and we just need to be conscious of it?
Most people, I mean, we've experienced under Pace. We got the 3rd pick, and it moved up to 2. Outside of that, the highest we probably ever finished was like the top was. I don't even think. It was 4th when Urlacher was a late first round pick or something like that.
Okay. He was the first round pick.
Yeah, Cedric Benson was like the 4th pick.
Oh yeah, Texas,
like that.
Yep.
We drafted and we didn't move
quarterback that high.
We drafted K McNown. I want to say 8th.
Mitch, what was Mitch?
Mitch was we 2. Traded up from 3 to 2, but we've never had a true tear down. It's always been this overlapping,
like a retool.
Yeah, this is one of the first times this has been stripped down to the bare minimum.
So you're saying we never committed fully? We just kind of partial.
We're always, I mean. If you look at the 90s, you're waiting for the Ditka era, the 85 Bear era was pretty much over. And then there was just a lot of bad drafting. I mean, and then dumb trades like the Rick Meyer trade. We got fleeced out of that one. But again, you're not putting an offensive system in place. It's also still based off an old mentality of we got to run the ball and defense. But then you don't even put a run zone. You don't even put the right running scheme in place. Our offensive lines were terrible. Remember the video I just made not too long ago?
Yeah.
Our quarterbacks couldn't. Jim Harbaugh got credit for actually starting all 16 games one time because we couldn't keep a guy. What's our guy? The guy Eric Kramer missed a whole year because of injury. Yeah. So we've never. Every time we had a good offensive line, we pretty much had a good year. 0-1, we had Blake Brockermeyer, James Williams, all those type of dudes. 05, 06. We had Kreutz and Fred Miller. We had all these dudes.
We had a solid line, but it was a lot of times it was anchored by the defense. Yeah. The defense has kind of been our calling card and what has helped us to be elite in those years that we were actually elite for. But in today's NFL, I know you mentioned that normally it's like a 2 or 3 year rebuild, tear down. A lot of these teams, man, they tear down and rebuild mostly within a year or so. And then that's why I think in today's NFL, you've expected a quicker turnaround. Mm-hmm. And so that's where the impatience come in too.
No, it just takes 3 years.
Well, typically, but what I'm saying is that, like, I know Kid mentioned, like, why is it that, okay, we are in year 3 And is it people being impatient, or is it
No.
more so?
We're in year two.
with Poles.
Or year two.
Yeah,
That's
two
what-
of that
yeah,
rebuild,
I'm gonna
right?
say.
And he didn't have his first round picks. So now you're dealing with the Ryan Poles stuff, because Ryan Poles also had handcuff situations. You're
Yeah,
talking
like
about an
the picks,
organization
yeah,
that did not have a GM for a long time. They went and got a scouting firm or something to bring in Jerry Angelo, because they're not even football. This is a
They're not
football
guys. Yeah.
team.
Oh,
They've been
man.
forever, and they don't know anybody. So
Yeah.
we're going to get a scout agency. We're going to get Bill Polian up in here. We're going to get somebody to tell us how to run a team, because they don't even know how to run a team.
This is
Mhm.
Joe's time to shine. Hey, man, listen, I appreciate all that. This was great right here, man. This was great content right here. Hey, since we're on this topic, we're going to sit there and transition into this, because one, we're talking about Ryan Post, talking about some of the picks he's made and ultimately what he does now. So how do you grade Ryan Post so far? And then how does he build in 2024? What is your particular take? And because you're on the heater right now, we're going to start off with Joe.
GM to a GM.
Hey, it's
What would you
my-
tell the other GM?
You
the
know,
real GM to the Madden GM.
it's just that, you know, it takes a while to build a team, and I think he's patient. I liked Pace because he was aggressive. Angelo didn't make he was not aggressive at all.
At all.
He, to me, is a balance, I think, but he's been hitting on most of his picks so
He
far.
barely even saw
Minus
Pace.
Velus Jones. And by the way, I don't. Why is he even on the field? I don't even see him.
I was going to bring
He got receipts. We got to stop asking this, but he got receipts.
Still don't get a good answer.
Here,
No,
let's do this.
no.
Let's do this. So look at the draft watch right now. As it stands, Arizona's number 1,
Wait,
Panthers
we're
number
fifth
2.
now?
Yeah,
Sorry, I lied to you. bro.
Giants 3, Patriots
no.
4. We're 5th. Rams now 6. Tennessee 7. Bucks 8 and 9. So
We got a root for
we
the
need
Giants.
Arizona to win a game. And matter of fact,
Oh, they ain't finna win. They just traded their best.
we
QB.
have to lose, huh?
They got rid of Dobbs, and Kyler ain't finna play.
I'm just saying.
Kyler's
I know Arizona's
playing
probably
Sunday.
not gonna win.
No, they tanking.
Kyler's playing Sunday.
Kyler playing Sunday.
Kyler's playing. They said if everything go good, Kyler's gonna play
Find a way to
Sunday.
lose.
So really, I mean, honestly, looking at the board, I think the Giants is gonna draft number 1. Because
Oh yeah,
at this
Daniel
point we got
Jones
to.
done.
At this point we got to, because we just lost Daniel Jones. I think they're gonna make a trade. We gonna get Caleb Williams.
yeah, he's done.
Yeah.
But Daniel Jones is done.
What's crazy is that
Can you put that list back up?
What of the player?
The rankings.
Oh, the rankings. Yeah, let me
Draft
do that.
rankings.
man, what's crazy is that the Commanders are 8th in the conference at 4 and 5, and we're 2 and 7. We're not that far out of the playoff picture either. That's what's wild about this.
I don't even want to think
The
about
whole
playoffs.
what's
league
wild
is
about this.
trash, man.
The whole NFC is garbage.
How are the Rams picking that up?
Oh, they
Oh,
lost.
the Rams are, they're not that good either.
No, Stafford got hurt.
So okay, so
A lot of their key players
yeah,
on
but like
defense get hurt too.
one win, and they're right back in the playoff picture. That's what's crazy.
This is a speculation question. I know we can't really answer this, but realistically, if you are opposed, are you caring about your record right now, or are you just trying to try a bunch of stuff?
No, we're done. The season's over. It's all about evaluation now. You still got to play hard.
Yeah.
Who's going to make the team? Because that's the other thing to get to, right? Like I gotta say,
Go do your thing,
a
dog.
depth chart, right? Looking at who. Now this is just based off my humble opinion. I mean, it is humble.
As he brags about it.
Humble brag. Yeah, right.
You know, if you look at the legend, Breeze Nation, I have, at the top, you got the bad, average, good, and Pro Bowl. And we want more Pro Bowl type players, right? Like the Dallas Cowboys at one time sent 13 players to Pro Bowl, right? Can we get somewhere in there? So I'm looking at like Darnell Wright, I think is a Pro Bowl player, right? I think Tevin Jenkins is potentially a Pro Bowl player. We got DJ Moore. Montez Sweat, if he gets 10 sacks, because he's already 6.5,
Yeah.
he could do that. And
Should
TJ
be
Edwards
easy.
is definitely a Pro Bowl linebacker. And I think we have a lot of good players like Jaquan. He could potentially be greater. We got Tremaine. I think I'm not gonna lie, I'm not that impressed with Tremaine, especially when Jack Sanborn came in and did pretty good. I think he's an average player. We got an average player, or maybe even good. But Tyreek, Kyler, Jalen, I like our secondary. Eddie Jackson, he got to go. Darnell Mooney, he's
I'm
a
gonna talk about
good
that.
receiver. Nate Davis is good. I don't know necessarily is he a Pro Bowl player, but he could. We'll see how. We need a left tackle big time. We need a center. I don't know what they're doing with the quarterback position. I don't know if we're going to keep Fields. But I think Khalil Herbert is a good running back, not necessarily Pro Bowl. Roshan is so far he seems to be average. He hasn't broken out like I thought he would. Cole Kmet, good player. And Dante Foreman, I think, is good. But we are still a lot of like 7 players away, right? And I think in the draft, we take a left tackle and we need a defense. We need
a 3 technique.
We need it bad.
We need a 3 technique.
But I would love to see if we were somehow to still get that number 1 pick, we can trade down again.
Yeah.
Maybe the 2 or 3, however it works. But based off looking at the way the draft is working, most of those teams are quarterback needy.
Yep.
Patriots, Giants. So it may not be one of those situations where we might have to take a quarterback.
So I got a question. So my question is this. So it's just like you said, right? So the rest of the teams on the list is quarterback needy. I think the Giants is pretty much gonna have the first pick. What's because somebody just said they need to get somebody was talking about Darnell Mooney need to get up out of here. What is stopping the Bears? What do you say to Marvin Harrison, Joe Alt, and then they go and find the 3 technique in free agency?
Well, I think what we should do, if we do our homework, let's just look at who the potential free agents could be coming out. And this might be a better class. Last year was not a good class.
Last year was trash.
It was a good class.
And,
if you look back at this again, right? Arizona is a quarterback. Carolina doesn't. Well, that's our pick, number 2. The Giants are probably going to need a quarterback, maybe, right?
Unless they
committed.
No. It's over. It's finally over.
All right, so good. Then there's your move, right? If we're able to get to that 3rd pick, and if we trade down.
Oh, wait a minute. I keep forgetting. We have the Carolina pick.
Right, we got the Carolina pick.
All right, so
Patriots might go for quarterback. So, looking at if that's the case, if they move on from Justin Fields and they're able to trade, they might get a 2nd round pick for Duke, maybe even a 1st rounder.
I don't think they should. I don't think they should though.
Depends on the way he plays the rest of the season.
I understand. No, my point is this isn't this. Don't attack the messenger here. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, I got you.
This is more based on if he was to do this.
Yeah, I got you.
But if he does, he has the ability to get 3, if not 4 top picks in the draft, which is almost unheard of.
How many 2nd round picks do we have?
None.
No 2nd round pick.
No.
I actually did a video recently that if we could potentially, I didn't realize New England's in front of us. Let's just hypothetically say that New England trades with us, and this draft board kind of stays the way it is. We trade with New England, we get their 4th pick, they go up to 2, and then they also give us a 2nd round pick this year.
We need the number 1 pick.
No, I'm not.
No, what I'm saying is we need the number 1 pick to control the draft again. Right now, you're at the mercy. If we end up with the 2nd pick, like as it is right now, it's then it's Caleb Williams 1, right? We can't necessarily trade down. But now, I think we're kind of stuck.
I wouldn't say that because let's say if New England goes for a different quarterback than Mac or whoever it is that's over there now, Drake May is a better prospect than anything they got. I think
Drake May.
But why do you say that? Why are you saying that we can't trade back? I'm trying to understand.
Because we're not going to probably. If it's Drake May, he might be the 2nd quarterback off the board.
Right. So if we have the
whole point is that who wants Caleb Williams, or they might hear that Drake May might be the guy because Caleb is going down. He hasn't been doing that well. He has not been doing well, and Penix might be moving up. So we might end up getting screwed of what we want to do.
Shout out to Tanner, by the way, for the super chat.
Oh yeah,
Steph,
Dan Tanner, what up?
Say something. What's going on?
What happened?
All right, Steph was gonna say something, but
my fault. What I was gonna say is this. My fault. Nah, the thing about it is, because I think Arizona's gonna win some games with Kyler, so I don't think that they'll be in that first position. If the Bears get the first pick, you talking about the 3 technique. I would not be surprised if we let go of Dexter Lawrence and you make the trade and we get the number 1 pick, because I could definitely see us doing that.
Okay, hold on. Pump your brakes. Everybody pump the brakes.
What I'm hoping is that we can get a center in the second round and we get a left tackle in the first.
Well, it'll be there.
because that helps out.
Jordan Center is
That
definitely
helps
good.
out the Bears
You
middle.
know what else we need though?
We need a lot.
No, we definitely need a lot. But what we really need is that Urlacher, Derek Brooks type of coverage linebacker. Like I would say, who's over there? Who's the guy in Dallas? Who's the killer out there in Dallas?
Micah Parsons.
Micah Parsons. He would be that perfect because he's fast. He would be that type of line. That's the guy we
So
need.
then the edge from Alabama, Dallas. I forgot his name, but Dallas. Yeah, he's kind of like a tweener. He's a linebacker edge person who can kind of cover and do the same thing that Micah Parsons does.
Hey, let's be clear.
I hate to be the guy.
Micah plays 8 positions.
Hey, let's be clear about something.
Drew wants us to wait for Shador.
Our defense is coming together.
Yeah.
Our offense
Agreed.
is reeling. You cannot be the GM of this team.
Thank you, Michael.
And
Dallas Turner.
not look at trying to settle this QB situation. I don't care what you all say. I don't care what you don't have enough proof there. Justin got 8 games.
Mm-hmm.
And if he don't show up in 8 games, we're picking a QB first round.
He's trading.
Fair.
He's
That's
been
not.
traded.
That's not. We're picking. No questions about it. If you don't pick a QB,
I can't get with it.
I think
can't get with it.
Will, and I know I don't believe in Braxton Jones. I think he's a very nice
Who said that?
V-Dog. He's asking. I'm not
Come
calling
on, man.
Braxton
I've been
Jones.
giving
No.
you
Come
good
on,
shout outs all day.
no. Braxton Jones. No, he's not it. We need all we need is a left tackle and a center. And this line, after 2 years,
for Shanu
is right there.
Grant.
But I think we get a left tackle.
Mm-hmm.
I think we get a center in the second round or a third, whatever we move it, second or third round, depending on the picks. But we got to probably end up with a quarterback and a tackle. It doesn't make sense to draft Marvin Harrison if you can't even throw him the ball.
Right. You need protection first. He's got to start in the trenches.
That's why that evaluation is important. I think, like Kid said, we need the rest of the season to determine if Fields is going to be him. And he doesn't have to be Patrick Mahomes. He doesn't have to be the best quarterback in the league. He just has to be a really good quarterback that can take us to the next level. And especially if, like you said, we draft the Marvin Harrison Jr., you got somebody that can enhance that, So,
we don't. Why do
we don't need to.
We can't protect the court. We don't even have a quarterback yet. We're not sure.
I'm gonna be honest. With you, that line looked pretty good.
Bro,
If you flip, listen.
I mean, they're professionals. They can look good in spurts.
Look, we got two top picks. Justin Fields doesn't even affect that equation right now for the draft. If we flip them, we just get more picks, if anything. But if we can get that number 1 pick again, that ends up more multiple picks. And then you still got the Fields if we end up going with another direction. And the whole point is to be able to build this team and get talent in here. And they're hitting more than they're missing on their picks.
Well, to your point, just like you showed in that graph, we only got 2 really, really good prospects, or not prospects, but good guys on the line. You got Darnell Wright,
right,
and you got Tevin Jenkins if healthy.
Right.
You need to make sure that you get 2 other people to solidify this line. Cody Whitehair is not it. Braxton Jones, I don't know why people keep thinking that he's fine or he's just enough. We don't need to do fine anymore. No. We need somebody like Fashanu or Alt, who's going to be generational, who is way more talented coming into the building than Braxton Jones ever was. Braxton is a good backup, just like Tyson Bagent is. And then you build off that. Now you can talk about giving Justin Fields more weapons because he has more time.
Okay, wait. I like
it's 7 o'clock.
Are like Marvin here. Okay, give me a team that has won a championship in the last 20 years with a phenom wide receiver as the number 1 guy. Give me one Super Bowl team that's won. 0. None of them.
to your point, G.
And I love Randy. Randy Moss is one of my favorite players of all time. And he when he got to the Patriots and they were killing, and I was rooting for him. Yeah. And they still lost. It just doesn't work that way. It takes
more than just that. Yeah,
Chase,
absolutely.
Who's old boy? What's the name there in Cincinnati?
Jamar Chase and
like
Joe Burrow ain't won.
Did his thing, but that's it, man.
I will say this though, to wrap this up in a nice little bow, we can all agree that Ryan Poles is actually cooking. He's making some decent moves. We can kind of trust where he's going.
He need to manage his heat a little bit better on the stove, but he getting there.
I mean, hey, listen,
he getting there.
He cooking, man. It's Pyrex. It's Pyrex vision, baby. He cooking a little bit. But you know what? We want to appreciate. We want to say we appreciate you all for tuning in. We do have a Bulls live, coming up. So we want to make sure that Steph has enough time to set up for that one. So you all tune into that one. It's going to be set up in about 2-3 minutes. But from myself, P Kid, my man JC, super producer Joe Ho, my man over there with the glasses, C-Dub looking smooth.
Tell me how did it? Sorry.
It's Stefan the
Come on,
Don. He said he left to go and set up. We appreciate you all. We'll catch you tomorrow on the next episode. Peace.
Yes, sir.